What does Green Arrow wear when he wants to dress up for a fancy occasion?
Green?
A bow tie.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. You found Fanboys Live the Retro Review. Happy Sunday to you, and happy Sunday to Comic Food 2814. How are you?
Doing well. Hi, everyone.
Good. It's nice to have you hanging out with us too. How was your week? You know, I haven't been asking you for a while, but what books have you been picking up for new stuff?
Actually, I haven't been really.
You haven't been. You're still getting the Green Lantern stuff, right?
Yeah, Green Lantern and Spider-Man are the only two titles still on my pull list. So, but I generally I get to the shop about once every other month, it seems.
Oh,
anymore.
wow.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
but I have been collecting some stuff. It just hasn't been comics. It's
Gotcha. Now, with Green
you see the
Lantern,
GI Joe there.
a real American hero.
Yes, that's what I've been into lately.
Now, do you get all the covers, or do you just pick, or do you always get the A cover, or do you pick which cover you like the best out of all of your options?
My instructions to my comic shop are anything and everything Green Lantern.
Okay.
So yeah, they even had what was it, the Godzilla versus Kong versus Justice League, with Kong and the Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
They actually had that waiting for me too.
Nice.
So they know just anything remotely Green Lantern related, I'll take.
Awesome.
So
well, it's great to have you here for tonight's show. If only we had someone with a crown on.
We
do. And we say hello to Signature King. How are you?
Another fine day in paradise.
Great. And how was your week? How are things going?
You know what? I don't think the weekend was long enough, to be honest with you. I just feel incredibly unproductive. Probably because my LCS finally got some much needed bags and boards in.
Oh.
So I just focused on that because
it
was like 1,000,000 degrees outside. So
yeah, I actually
could have been.
I have a Green Arrow jacket. It is too hot to wear that tonight. Even with the air conditioning on, it's too hot to wear that tonight. So
yeah,
there is no Green Arrow jacket tonight to tie in with our retro review. So I was asking Fu, and I'll ask you, Signature, what books are you currently buying or getting?
Oh, man. I've been really excited for Absolute Power. Just because it's a huge Amanda Waller story arc, and I love the Suicide Squad, so I was really excited for that. Anything related to that. I feel like I really had a cool book for that, but maybe I don't. Oh no, wait, I do. Sorry, it's in the wrong pile. So one thing that my LCS does very well is pre-orders. They have a cool little app that you can look at, and I can place the order right through the app. And that's what I did. So my current cool foil cover is the this Absolute Power one. Yeah, with Wonder Woman getting beat up pretty good. So
it looks like she's fighting Ultron / Iron Man.
Ultron, Iron Man / Amazo.
Maybe it was Black Adam or something. No,
nope. It's a robot. It's a robot.
That would be Amazo.
Oh yeah, okay, that does look like Amazo.
But Fu, don't you get the Ultron vibes from that?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty good run. I'm a little behind, but I like what I see so far.
Now I'm noticing something, Lasso. I don't know if you've noticed the same thing, but we've been doing these for a few years now, and we saw Tony kind of putting together his room early on. It was all nice and clean. Look at the piles building up back there behind him.
Of books? Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah.
Look, here's one. Luckily the camera isn't wide enough because here's the start of another one. I've got another one over here. I've got two more in the back and one more here on this file cabinet. I'm doing some sorting, some rearranging. As I'm going through the list of cons, I was like, oh man, I got to get that guy to sign that book. Oh man, where's it at? Like, where's that run? So I'm like, that. As I'm looking for books, I'm like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Let me pull this whole run out of here, put it into this pile. So it's an evolving mess. It's an evolving mess. It's organized. I can find things, as we saw. It just takes a second.
Okay. Before we get started even acknowledging the chat or getting into the DC news and stuff too, have either one of you or even our chat members, have y'all been to Burger King lately?
No.
The DC heroes are at Burger King. At least they're starting to show up at Burger King now.
Okay.
And obviously we know which character I'm looking for who hasn't been found yet. But look at how awesome these are.
Oh wow!
Is it like squishy or something?
No, it's almost like a Funko in a way.
Okay.
But it's so much bigger than I expected. This is over 3.5 inches tall.
Huh.
So there are 8 characters to choose from that Burger King will have. Obviously, we have Superman. Batman is out there. Those 2 characters, it seems that Burger King's either have right now or have had, if they're not sold out. The other 6 characters that they're going to be offering, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, but I'm so sorry to say that it's
John Stewart. Yeah.
That's okay. I like John Stewart.
The Flash, the Joker, Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah. Somebody's going to Burger King.
And it ain't this guy.
And he's got the crown on, ready to go.
I should just roll into Burger King like that. Give me them all.
You should, yeah. And who do you think the last one is? So Superman.
Give us a clue. Hero or villain?
Aquaman.
Hero. Not Aquaman.
Really? Oh.
No, I thought it would be Aquaman as well, but it is not
Nightwing.
Aquaman. It's not Nightwing.
Cyborg? Or
Not
Martian
Cyborg.
Manhunter?
Not Martian Manhunter.
Shazam.
Not Shazam.
I give up.
It's got to be a girl like Zatanna or...
It is a female character.
Batgirl or...
Supergirl.
That's it.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So, like I said, head to your Burger King, see who you can find. I was only trying to get the Wonder Woman until I actually saw how awesome these things were. And like I said, it's over 3.5 inches tall, which for a premium toy figure, that's pretty big, And I was expecting to be about half that size, honestly. But they are out at Burger King's now.
How close is your nearest Burger King?
In town.
In town?
It's about less than 4-minute drive.
So are you going to be taking one for the team then and getting me the Green Lantern one?
Let me ask you this. What would happen if I went after that, but with all this fried food consumption, I had a massive heart attack and did get it mailed out to you?
Well, you don't have to eat food. You can just buy the toy.
That's true.
Don't they have salads at Burger King? Wait.
They're probably worse.
They probably are.
That's true.
We'll see what we can do with the Green Lantern.
Just get a cup of water.
Yeah,
somehow that'll probably screw you up.
Yeah.
I'm sure they love that. So
do you have to order like the kids' meal?
Well, I mean, I think you're supposed to.
He's ordering the kids' meal.
No. But when I went for this, I said, what do I have to buy to get this? And they said, you can just have it.
Oh.
And I mean, of course, I bought something because that's the right thing to do,
Yeah, I feel obligated.
So I didn't order the kids' meal. I got what I would. I got my adult meal, and
I would have just bought how many figures are there total?
8.
I would have bought 8 kids' meals. Make sure I got all my toys, and then I can drive by, especially when I'm going into work, 8 people begging for money.
There's a problem with that.
a kid's meal.
There's a problem with that.
What's that?
They don't have all the figures at the same time. You're supposed to keep coming back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right now,
do that.
it seems Superman is the current one, and a lot of Burger King still have leftover Batmans. So you can usually find both of them right now at a Burger King.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's coming next. I would guess that since they have 3 female characters in this line, one of the females is going to be probably next. Probably Wonder Woman, just with the Trinity, you know?
I didn't know. I drove past a Burger King today, and had I known, I would have pulled over.
They've got them onion rings.
I don't really eat.
Yeah,
Burger
I actually
King.
I went back and collected all of the McDonald's Happy Meal toys for the Green Lantern animated show, I think it was. And then I also found there was like a Jessica Cruz little plush toy. It might have been Burger King or McDonald's, I don't know, but only in Canada.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I was able to get that, and I think I got some extra cryptos that came with that one.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
So how many pieces were in that McDonald's line?
There was like 7 or 8, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's about what, on average, about what they do is 7 to 8 pieces per theme.
Yeah,
So
I
Burger
actually
King's
had
the
to go
place
and
to
hunt
be.
down some of those too, because some of them were harder to find.
Oh, really?
Which is weird.
Yeah.
But
Burger King, the place to be. Some folks.
So are you going to open yours?
You know what? I actually think I am.
Is it a keychain?
No, it's just like a little
Just
figure.
a little figure? Okay.
Yeah, it's like a Funko without the box.
Gotcha.
So I think it's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like I said, I don't know who's coming after these two. I'm going to guess a female since they have 3 females coming. Probably Wonder Woman, but we'll see. So let's say hello to some folks who thought that this show is the place to be, and we appreciate that so much, starting with John's Comics with Kids. Yo to you. And then we have Ruban Guzman, White Tiger Cool, Calm Collected. Thanks for stopping by. Muabunga to you. Our good friend, I'm glad that he's feeling better. Super Russ 9000 is here. And Gore has stopped by. Do you know the comics the upcoming Green Lantern series is based on, or will it be an original series? Thanks. If only I had a Green Lantern expert to turn to.
Yeah, Tim's not here.
Oh. Yeah, no, I don't know. I haven't heard.
I think it's original. I think it is.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to take inspiration from stories, but I don't think it's based off a specific run or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still
I'm
think
excited
the
for that.
entire show just based on Guy's Bar would be awesome.
Be like Cheers, but
yeah, like a sitcom. It would be amazing. It would be so good.
Where everybody knows your name.
Okay, so let's say that show is greenlit. You know, what characters are
greenlit?
series regular?
Greenlit?
Arkillo, for sure.
Okay.
Like, he's just got to show up drunk every once in a while, you know?
Fair enough.
And getting into a brawl with a guy once in a while.
I would think Kilowog would be a bartender.
No.
Or the bouncer. Or he would either be a bartender or the bouncer and kick those poozers out.
Yeah. I think Stell would be there at like the end of the bar all the time, even though like he can't drink or anything. So that'd be funny. I don't know.
And then you got to have at least one of the Guardians, like an old wise man. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just giving advice.
See, we're writing the show. This is awesome.
There you go. Call us HBO.
Yeah. We'll say hi to Ben Compton, who's joined us. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Tony, what's going on with the news? And what's this Booster Gold rumor I'm hearing?
Oh, yeah. Booster Gold. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm very sorry. But Kamal something, Najani? Kamal Najani? I think I'm saying that right. He was in Eternals. He's pretty famous. He's in a lot of stuff. He's a really funny actor. I guess has been allegedly cast by Booster Gold. So
I don't see that.
Cool.
I just don't see him as Booster.
I don't either.
Who is that?
He played. I can get a picture of him. Once you see his face, you know exactly.
Yeah, once you see his face, you'll know it.
All right, I got it up here. Let's take a look. Share screen. I want this one. Him.
Oh, him. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not who I would think of for Booster Gold.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. He's supposed to be like a quarterback in the future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some kind of hero from the future. I forget what century he's allegedly from, but
To me, Booster was always kind of like a Ken doll, you know?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the pretty boy, like the drop dead model type.
yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. And he's not like a good hero. He just has really good tech.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
he's got really good tech. He went into the past, and now he's got the tech. Yeah. But
Yeah.
But
he's
he's
basically-
in it for the fame, and he's in it for the money.
Yeah, and the ladies.
Yeah.
If you remember the animated series. But
that would be a very weird choice.
Yeah, I just personality wise, I can't see it. Even though he's funny, he's a comedic actor, but I don't know. I also don't want Chris Pratt to take that role either. It's too similar to Star-Lord.
Mm-hmm.
They have very similar personalities. I want it to be Booster Gold would be the okay person that I would say, let's cast somebody new that we don't know. You know what I mean? Let's build some hype around it. But yeah, that's the big headline. There's some other minor stuff. People are alleging that Anthony Starr has been, Homelander has been cast. And it's funny because he was rumored to be cast as Booster Gold for a while. He's got the hair for it. I think he could do it.
Has anyone been cast in the voice role of Skeets?
Yeah, I heard it was you, wasn't it?
Yes, me. Dibs.
Or this gentleman I know named Ryan McCall.
Dibs.
I heard he was voice acting Skeets.
Yep.
But that's like the big dominating one. I mean, it's everywhere. This Booster Gold.
But that's not confirmed, correct?
It's not confirmed, but the same source this is coming from the same source that said the guy who's playing Superman was cast before it was official, and he was right. So he's batting 100 so far. So, I mean, I'm going to take it at face value and just assume that it's rumor still because it hasn't been confirmed. But keep in the back of your mind, the same source was right about the Superman casting.
Are any of you guys buying the Garcia Lopez style guide variants that are out this month for different titles? You are. Are you buying all of them, or are you just buying select?
I would love to buy all of them, but we'll see what my LCS carries.
If you decide to buy all of them, you now have another one to try to chase because SDCC is going to have an exclusive of this as a foil.
Come on, guys.
I said foil, Tony.
Come on. Is that issue 1?
Yeah.
Okay, it's issue 1. Okay, perfect. So I think that's written by Mark Waid. I can't really tell.
Yeah,
Wade, Mara Sanchez. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
But that will be an SDCC exclusive.
See, this one I'm torn on.
Okay.
I'm torn on this one. I love the foils, but I hate it when they turn the cover sideways. Because then if I were to grade it, slab it, get signatures on it, I feel like that's how I got to display it. And it displays weird.
SDCC will also have some T-shirts as well. You see some Supergirl, Batman. Who's that? And then some Superpowers T-shirts as well. They're going to have a Detective Comics 27 facsimile edition with a movie homage cover, but there's not a lot of details about that. There's also some graphic novels that will have exclusive covers as well. So that's some of the DC offerings for upcoming SDCC towards the end of this month.
I'm going to see if any of that stuff's online already. I bet it is.
Oh, I'm sure it is, even though people don't have their hands. How can people see? This would be my luck. I would be like, I'll get a huge bid for it, and then I wouldn't be lucky enough to get a copy of the book to be able to fulfill it.
Yeah. They'll just cancel the order if they don't get it.
Well, I just think that that's unethical.
It is. Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of stuff on here from San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if it's the same. Interesting. I'll see if that foil was on there. I just want to. It's probably gonna go for $1 million. But that's pretty cool. I like variants.
So, anything else going on news wise?
Unfortunately, no. It's been quiet. We are dangerously close to San Diego Comic-Con.
I
I
saw
think
they
that's
announced
why.
the panels, some of the panels.
Oh, did they? Okay, very
Yeah,
cool.
and there is a Harley Quinn one, so
Oh,
there you go.
okay. Fair enough. You know what? I'm gonna say this right now. I'm a punchline guy. I'm gonna start batting for Team Punchline.
Wow.
Because why not? They've already ruined one good character.
Is Punchline
Evil
even
Harley
around
Quinn was
anymore?
good. I don't know. I don't know. Well, that's not true. They just did Night Terrors. Punchline had her own issues.
Hmm.
So, I mean, obviously she's still around somewhere. But if it
Yeah,
was
they
ever
actually
Harley
just
versus
added her to
Punchline.
the mobile game, DC Heroes and Villains. Like she's the theme for the current season.
Oh, very cool.
I've been over to Burger King. I haven't seen her.
I will admit she doesn't have the market value that Harley Quinn has, but that's okay.
Well, you're a little biased.
She'll get there. I'm very biased.
So.
Very biased.
All right. So as we segue into our retro review, I picked it tonight. Were you guys surprised at my pick?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Okay. So first of all, we're doing Green Arrow, which is a character that we don't give a lot of attention to on Fanboys, so that's one of the reasons. But I generally gear towards a lot of the older titles. Silver Age, Bronze Age, and Copper are kind of my wheelhouse. But I did a modern story. I think this is
2007.
2007, that's right. And these are the last 3 issues of Volume 3. So we're going to do the last storyline that they covered in Volume 3. So it's issues 73, 74, and 75. One of the issues particularly spicy, I will say.
Now, were you familiar with this story prior?
I had never read any of these. I don't own any of these. I have never read any of these. I just wanted to do a Green Arrow story for a while on Fanboys. And then I was just looking around. I'm like, what are some good Green Arrow stories, particularly something that would be a 3-parter? And I saw this and I'm not going to spoil it right now, but for how it concludes at the end in issue 75. And I'm like, well, that could be kind of interesting. And so I just randomly picked it, and that's what we're doing tonight.
All right.
And if you want to bring up the assist, I'll throw out another question too. Do you guys think I have met a Green Arrow?
Yes.
I have. Now here's question 2. How many Green Arrows have I met?
2.
I have. I've met 2 different Green Arrows, but I met one of the Green Arrows twice. So, Justin Hartley and Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell is who I met twice.
Oh, wow.
Met him on 2 consecutive years. 1 year and then next year. Cool. So issue 73 is where we're going to start. Star City Fights Back. Take it away. Green Arrow 2814.
All right, so here we've got Star City Fights Back, and this is kind of an interesting issue here. It's kind of one of those, there's a lot of the ends justify the means kind of theming going on here. And we start out in Star City where this weary traveler returns home. And much has happened since his absence. And so right away, you kind of start questioning who this guy is. And you're thinking, hey, maybe this is Green Arrow. Again, I don't understand the context of where this story falls within the rest of the volume. So, I'm not really sure what's going on. But I was kind of thinking maybe this was Green Arrow returning home. But then we see this. There's an election. And that certainly looks like Oliver Queen there. So, again, who is this guy? So he's going through and you can see vote Queen. So it was Oliver. He's running for some kind of re-election in this case. And this guy happens to come across this thug, harassing this woman. She's trying to just get away. And he shows up and basically tells the guy to back off. And, total coincidence. The guy just so happens to turn into a supervillain and has got this crazy kind of outfit here. And he's like, yeah, you just made the worst mistake of your short life. And here's where we learn it's none other than what name does he go by? Is it like Kid Arrow or something. I don't know, but
it's Connor. But
Connor, yeah,
is he Speedy? Does he call himself Speedy?
that I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
Okay, but it's Connor
Um,
for sure.
yes, it's Connor Queen. So this is Oliver Queen's son. Um, so he's back in, he's the one that was back in town, and he has this fight with this guy, and he realizes he's got these kind of like super powered hands. He's some kind of metahuman. So they go back and forth, and you can see he's shooting his arrows, trying to take this guy down. When this other car shows up and starts shooting at him, as he reacts and tries to duck for cover, he realizes that they grabbed the other guy and drove away. And he's like, "Oh wow, running, huh?" And just then, that's when we realized Green Arrow was sitting there in the windowsill above, kind of watching the whole thing go on. And he's like, "Yeah, well, live to fight another day." Um, they have a little banter back and forth, and that's where he's like, "It's good to see you, son," and he gives him this big bear hug, and he's like, "You're crushing me." He's like, "Yeah, deal with it. It's fatherly love." So clearly they're happy to see each other. But then we're back in Oliver Queen's office, and this is where we learn that he is the mayor of Star City. He's running for re-election, and it's not going well. Apparently, he has been funding the Outsiders. I assume that means like the team, Batman and the Outsiders. I don't know what was going on at this point, but
After
he was
Batman left.
yeah, after Batman left. So I guess the Outsiders, they're thinking, are some kind of like terrorist squad or something. They're the way they go about things is not good, but Oliver Queen was funding them secretly, and now it has been made public, and it's ruining his chances for re-election. And Connor shows up, and he's like, yeah, he's like basically kind of starts calling his dad out, and Oliver's like, yeah, my lies are killing me, but I don't regret any of it. And his son's kind of like, Dad, they're practically mercenaries, right? So this really made me curious. I would love to know what was occurring with the Outsiders prior to this. I might have to go back and check that out. Um, and they get in this little argument, and Oliver's trying to defend the Outsiders the best he can, but basically it ends with Oliver's like, "Why don't you go vote for my opponent? You're still registered, aren't you?" And so they apologize. They're okay, but it's clearly weighing on Oliver's mind what's going on here, and he realizes that he's going to lose election, and he just wants another term to finish what he started. And his son starts encouraging him to go out and fight, tell the media all that he's done to save Star City, remind them of what it was like before he took office. Go out and defend yourself. And he won't. Oliver says no, he's not going to do it. And that's when I think it's like his campaign manager, advisor to the mayor, yeah, busts in and says, yeah, no, if you're not going to tell him why, I'll tell him why you're not going to defend yourself. And basically we learn that there's all these programs that Oliver put into place, like social programs and stuff that require a lot of money to fund. I think no less than 30 programs are required to keep things running, right? And it's this long conversation, so I'm going to skip through some of this. But essentially, was happening was Oliver made a deal. He's going to take the dive in the election. He made a deal with his opponent to continue to fund these programs that he put into place if Oliver kind of backs down and doesn't defend himself. And the other part of this deal, though, was they agreed to leave Mia alone. She's wanted for some outstanding drug warrants and solicitation warrants. And that's where Connor's like, yeah, but she was a minor when that happened. And he's like, yeah, but they're going to make a big show of it. And so instead, they're going to leave her alone if he does this deal. And just then Mia calls, and I wasn't really sure who Mia was. Is Mia like his daughter or something? It sounds like. I'm not entirely sure, but she's apparently. It looks like she's taking the role of Oracle,
Mia
where
is Speedy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We'll
Yeah.
see that later. That she's Speedy.
Mia is
so
Speedy, and Connor is Connor Hawke.
Connor Hawke. Okay.
Yeah.
And are they brother and sister? Or I wasn't sure her
I
relationship.
have to check on that.
Okay. Well, but it appears to me that like, she's playing the Oracle role here, and she's basically getting, up to date information on these gangsters and what's going on. The gangsters have been stepping up the past few weeks. They've been getting these new ones here. The Monk, Masked Man, and then we've got Pick and Roll. Crazy names. So they've got this big meet coming up. She's got the address, and of course, they're all going to go and investigate and see what these gangsters are up to. So, and it's all run by this gangster Brick, and apparently they've had some kind of run-ins with him before. And here we see that guy that Connor was fighting earlier, plus these other 4 new gangsters are all together here. I don't know why these 2 have green skin, but that's Pick and Roll. Oh, and it looks like this guy's got like 4 arms, the Monk. So very interesting. These are some kind of meta humans. So we get that cool splash page, and basically it's this Brick is basically setting them all in their place, reminding them that he's in charge and they work for him. Just scroll through this, and then they say, yeah, but where's this guy come in? He doesn't seem like a normal street thug, and that's where we get the introduction of Merlin. And he's like, thank you. I like to think I have a certain flair. So then we flash over to Connor, Green Arrow, and Speedy, Mia, and they're on their way to the docks to see what's going on with these gangsters. And just as they're going through the air, we hear "Want a Hand," and we get Black Canary
in the fishnets. Yeah. So Mia, I went and looked. She was a runaway that was taken in by Oliver Queen.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So.
And she's the new Speedy then,
she's
right?
She's the new Speedy, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Connor, he was originally Speedy, or that was a different one entirely, right?
I think that was a different one entirely.
Yeah, the whole drug issue and all. Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't Roy Harper the?
Yeah, Roy Harper Speedy? Was the original Speedy.
Roy Harper. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Arsenal's what he's called now.
Yeah, yep. Arsenal. Yep. Part of the Teen Titans, and yeah.
See, I read books.
All right. Well, Mr. Tony, you're actually up in the middle slot with issue 74.
Yes, issue 74.
He didn't read it.
I read it.
Oh, okay.
I read it.
Do you have an assist to bring up for us?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And while you're doing that, I'll say hi to some folks who have joined us. We have Kenneth Bird here joining us. It's great to have you here. We say meow to the Jackson Roy Kirk, who's with us as well. And he's happy with the canary.
So, did you guys read this issue, or is this the first time you read it?
It was the first time I ever read it a couple days ago.
Okay. So this is why when you were asking, were you surprised with the pick in terms of the run or whatever? Mm-hmm. I said no because I knew you like Green Arrow. He's a cool dude, a great character, a fun character. And he's got his own little gallery of heroes and villains. But he spends a lot of time in the bedroom in this issue. Like over half the issue, he's in bed.
Yes, and he is stirring that spaghetti sauce and making sure that it gets stirred very well.
He is the Chef Boyardee of the DC universe in this issue.
Of spaghetti sauce.
And there's that other older one where there's a famous scene of him and I think it's Black Canary, right? And
I think so, yeah.
They're in bed and yeah, there's some scenes there.
What I do before I get into the issue, one thing I like about in terms of these modern ones that we do is they go pretty quick. If we do like a Silver Age or something, boy, it takes like 20 minutes for each one of us to plow through our issues. But this one actually goes pretty fast. No pun intended. No, I guess I should have thought about that one. That's not what I meant. Anyway, so we cut to the gang here, and they're at the docks. They're talking about how they're going to handle the situation, how they're going to handle Green Arrow, how we're going to move forward. And just in the as they finish that sentence, here comes Green Arrow and Black Canary. And this, I think, storyline Jericho Part 2. Okay, so Merlin is here. He's got all the gangs here, and he's like, there's really nothing you can do to stop us. We're here to, to kill everybody, so to speak. And then, sure enough, Connor and what was her name again? The red one.
Mia.
Speedy. Okay. Okay. So Connor, and wasn't his last name Hawke? Connor Hawke. Yeah, Connor
Sounds
Hawke.
like it,
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, they show up, and I gotta admit, I don't recall, like I'm using my Green Arrow experience, here. I thought this is really cool. Arrow he's got here, it's a classic smoke arrow, and he's got like these little goggles on. I don't know why, but that was just really cool for me. Maybe I'm just a little kid and love night vision.
We got to see through the smoke.
That's true. It's pretty cool. Also, a lot of classic Green Arrow stuff happens in here. So he does use his arrow to like physically puncture people, like he does here with this fine specimen of a human being right in the thigh. But he has that really cool like bow and arrow that has like a boxing glove on the end. Oh, dude, that is so cool. That's
like his classic arrow.
It is. And I just started watching Justice League, the animated series, with my oldest. And in episode 1, he does it. It was so funny. My daughter didn't understand why I was laughing, but I was like, you'll get it later. But it's so stupid, but it's awesome. And then
it's like Inspector Gadgety.
It is. And it's so funny here because Black Canary and Green Arrow are having a conversation about it. She's like, was that? And he's like, that, it is. And it makes you nostalgic. You know what I mean? And he's right. Heck yeah. Mia and Connor take on some of the other villains. And Merlin takes his shot. Is this the first appearance of Malcolm Merlin?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Because I looked him up and it said longtime foe. Oh no.
Okay.
Him and another character that I have in my story, longtime foes.
Sure. So, Green Arrow's, everyone thinks he might be part metahuman, but anyway, he's able to subdue Merlin's arrows. He's grabbed behind by the big dude who looks like the Thing with dreads. Not sure what his name is. But here he is. He says right here, I didn't want it to end this way. Hopefully we could have done this more like a gentleman. And he's getting ready to execute, Oliver Queen here. And here comes Black Canary with her canary cry. She's able to free Oliver Queen. The gang just takes off. And as soon as Oliver Queen gets to his feet, they just start laying into each other. I was saving your life. What were you doing? I had it. That wasn't part of the plan. We talked about this. You were being, you weren't doing this. You weren't doing that, or vice versa. And, they look like they're about ready to start throwing down, and then they do, but not in the way that you think. Right here in the warehouse in front of the children.
Yeah, I was gonna say, weren't there other people there?
Yeah, and right in front of the children.
When you got to stir the sauce, you got to stir the sauce.
And they don't mention that.
The kids are standing right back there.
Kids are right there. Kids are right there.
Well, they do move it back home though.
Yeah,
because doesn't it say something like they spend 20 hours in bed or something like that?
Yeah, you're right. God,
and let's just say she's a screamer.
Yes, you're right. I didn't want to point that out, but yeah. So anyway, they're trying to talk to Oliver Queen. They're knocking on the door, and he's doing that thing where he just pokes out of here. He's like, hey, if you're looking for food, there's a thing of chili in the freezer. Just nuke it for 12 minutes in the microwave, It'll be fine. Okay, bye. And then he kind of closes the door, and then he goes right back, to making pasta. They're making chili, he's making pasta. And they're talking about their relationship and where it's been and where it belongs, and believe it or not, they also mention Hal right here in this panel. Hal's got a big damn mouth for betraying my confidences to you.
Because Hal told Canary that he's been celibate since she left him.
Yeah. Yep. And she gets emotional, and Oliver's like, listen, I just wanted you to come back. And here Black Canary's like, well, I'm right here.
Kids are still
and
there.
Then kids are still there. They're like, hey, we're going back out. Like, you coming? They're like, we're busy. But anyway, they finally make it out of the bedroom here, and they're starting to track down Merlin and the gang here. But then they run into somebody else, Mr. Slade Wilson, and that goes ahead and that wraps up this issue. So a lot of the issue was spent in the sheets and not on the streets. So.
Sure. Ooh, if you could be kind enough to pull up the assist for my issue, we'll wrap up this storyline.
Well, I guess I could have just kept it up. I don't know why I didn't.
All right.
So our cover pretty much gives it away as to what the big ending of this issue is going to be. And this issue is a key for the reason that's depicted on the cover. It is the proposal of Green Arrow to Black Canary. But our issue starts in City Hall, where Fred Tuckman is talking to the head of security, John Smalls, and he's like, look, I've got to make this ask on my own, and at the very least, if you come along, you're going to intimidate them. I'm scared about doing this. It's a fourth quarter Hail Mary play. If I can make this go, I mean, if this works, and they're like, are you sure about this? And he's like, destiny presents itself and we have to rise to meet it. And he's like, I'm scared out of my mind. And he's like, are you sure you don't want Oliver to tag along? And he's like, I would, but he's a little busy at the moment. And we see what he's busy with. He's busy with Deathstroke. And Deathstroke is there along with Constantine Dracon, who's another longtime Green Arrow foe. And the story is called Jericho, the Conclusion, and the Walls Came Tumbling Down. So we have Deathstroke and Constantine Drakeman taking on the Arrow team, and they're fighting back to the best of their abilities. And one thing that Oliver starts noticing as they're talking is how much Deathstroke is talking, and that's bad because he's actually gloating. And he gives up that he was the one who got the information leaked that Oliver Queen was funding the Outsiders, which is really hurting his re-election chance, like Fu talked about in the issue that he reviewed. He was the one who got that information and let that leak. And they're like, I gave this to Nudu Sirda, and now he's going to run the city of yours into the ground. That's the guy that's pretty much expected to take over as mayor for Oliver. And then Oliver thinks, I assume the only reason that we're not dead is because he wants to do this slow and painful step by step. So Deathstroke's coming for the rest of them. Canary Cry happens. And all of a sudden, Constantine Dracon issues like this. He's got like this spell, this wall that goes around them and protects them from that. And it kind of reverberates back at them. And he's like, hey, if you do this again, you could probably end up killing yourselves because the feedback is going to kill you. And they let them know that they are fully packed with weapons, ready to go. And then all of a sudden, Constantine Dracon takes out Speedy, and he takes out Connor. So they're out of the picture, and Deathstroke is in a huge advantage point. He's got swords out on both Oliver and Dinah. And with Dinah, as you'll see when we get to it in a moment, she's in a very critical place. He's going to have the sword literally in her mouth. But we cut over to Constantine Dracon and his battle with Speedy and with Connor. and they're fighting back. And really, this Constantine guy is able to repel everything that they're throwing at him. And he causes a huge explosion. And he's like, "Hey, I'm ready for you." And he rips off his shirt. And he's like, "There's going to be more room for blood now." So as we cut back to Oliver and Dinah, he's getting a couple slices out with his swords. He's cutting Canary's leg. He's cutting Oliver's arm, and they're bleeding. And this is a hugely intense battle. And Oliver's noticing how he's so much more calm, and he has everything literally planned out, and he knows it. And he knows that there isn't a plan on how they're going to take them down, because this guy has got everything just so thought through. So they're going to try to be as impulsive as they can and see if that doesn't throw him off of their game. And he says, "Hey, you didn't expect us to cave in a building that we're standing in, did you? But look, we did. But remember, if you come poking the dog might bite back." So at this point, we cut over again to Frederick Tuckman. He's in a meeting now with that Brian Nudisurdio, who's the one who will probably take over as mayor. And this is Oliver's opponent. And this gets interesting because he's made a proposition to him, Frederick has. Remember, Frederick is Oliver's right-hand man. And he says, "I want to be appointed the head of the city council." And Brian is like, "Are you nuts? You work for Oliver Queen. And if in case you haven't noticed, I'm going to beat him like a piñata. Why the hell would I want you?" And he's like, "Look, you might win this election just barely, but people are going to remember what Oliver did. If you put me in that position, you're going to have the stability from people, and I can get you more votes and ensure that it's a landslide victory. And I'll bring the reassurance to the people that are going to be scared of a transition in this." So Brian is thinking this over, and Frederick essentially is betraying Oliver at this point. He's saying, "Put me on your team, and I can show you that I want to embrace all the good that Mayor Queen has done, and we'll hold that part, and I'll let you do the rest." He's like, "Well, Brian Nudisurdo is saying, well, kind of what's in it for you?" He's like, "Look, if I lose this job, I'm going to be associated with Oliver, who's associated with funding these renegades, the outsiders. I'm not going to get another job." And he's like, "I have a lot to offer you, and then you could keep me employed, which helps me back." Now, Brian, the would-be potential candidate, his side man is telling him, "Well, the perception issue is real." What he's saying, this really could work to your advantage. And he's like, "But the council is out." And then Frederick's like, "Look, you got connections on the council. You get a hold of them, call a special meeting. You can make this done." And Brian's like, "I need this done in 2 days because I need to get the press out of this, showing that you're with me before the election happens." And they're like, "It's a deal." So he's like, "Welcome to the team, Mr. Tuckman." And he's like, "I'm happy to be on board." And he says, "How do you think Queen's going to take you stabbing him in the back?" And he says, "He'll be fine." So there's something there that you're going, that's interesting. But we cut back to Oliver right now, who is really deeply in battle. He and Black Canary are in battle with Deathstroke. And Deathstroke really is winning, even though they're throwing as much as they have at him. Towards the bottom of that panel, Oliver will send an arrow up, which will actually electrocute the ceiling. Well, that seems like a good idea, except for who's on the ceiling? Black Canary. So that kind of affects her a little bit too. And she's like, "What's the plan? What's the plan?" And like we said before, there is no plan. So Deathstroke comes down. He's literally taking them, and he's handing their butts to them. He is kicking their butts in this battle. So we get to the point that I just mentioned. He's got one sword in Black Canary's mouth, and he's got the other one coming for Oliver. Now we pause to cut back over to the other fight that's going on. So once again, we've got Connor and Speedy. They're fighting this Constantine Draken, who's got like all these ninja skills going on too. He also says it's not just the ninja skills, but I sense a great physical prowess, inner strength. And he's wiping the floor with them as well. And he says, but you know, in the end, you both just lack my speed, and that's why you're not going to be victorious. And today, unlike our previous contests, my gift will allow me to win out. You know, I simply am faster than you, and all of a sudden he hears a voice saying, not fast enough. And we cut away from that, not knowing who's saying that to him. We go back to Oliver, who's saying, kill me. And he's like, and Deathstroke's like, I plan to. And he says, no, just me, and all of this. You kill me, you flay me, take my head off, and drop it on a pike. Let everyone see that you beat me. It's what you want. It's what you've been after. You know, do it, but leave her alone. He's like, I'm just another high-end costume idiot who's pissed you off too many times. And Deathstroke agrees to that. He's like, but let her go. Let her walk away. And he says, no. And then Oliver's getting very agitated and upset. He's like, you were a soldier at one point. Then you became a warrior. You've got to have held on to some code, some honor. I am a warrior who's laying his sword down, bending his knee, you know, and sir, I'm asking this one thing. Let her go and kill me. And he starts begging. And he's like, I'm not afraid to die, but I can't have her. Please let her go. And he says, no, but I will kill you first, with every intention of killing Black Canary after. And at that moment, all of a sudden we see Constantine Drakeman flying through the window and landing on Deathstroke. How did this happen? And then, no one is dying today, says Superman as the Justice League has arrived. Although some of us wouldn't mind it so much. And Canary says, well, it's about time. And they're like, Deathstroke's like, fine, tonight's over. He reaches down at the bottom of his boot and he presses this little button. You hear this little beep, and then huge explosion, which sends everyone flying. And the Justice League's trying to recover, like, what was that? They definitely were not expecting this. And Superman says there was some type of kryptonite in there. So now we have Deathstroke and Constantine Drakeman, and they're reunited back together, and they're escaping. And he says, you know, you seem to have all the right components to allow for us to escape from the Justice League. And he's like, that's what it was designed for. That little explosion cost me $14 million and 8 lives died synthesizing it. I only had one chance to use it. But shut up. We have only 30 seconds before Superman gets his senses, including his super hearing back, and we got to get as far gone as we can. So they take off. They are running away to fight another day. Oliver thanks all the heroes for joining, and they said we would have been here soon, but there was something human and there was something huge in space. Some type of meta was possessed by the ultra humanite, or zombies, or aliens, or alien zombies, whatever. You know, he says, hey, thanks, Roy. Thanks for saving the old man's bacon. He says, yeah, Ollie, I'm sorry. You know, it feels like you're running out of here on a rail. I wish that we could do more. He's like, it's okay. I got to go these last few feet alone. And Canary says, no, you really don't, because you got your team around you. And did you even see there's a Green Lantern right behind there? I
see.
Yeah.
Now we're cutting to a emergency press conference that's been called by the mayor of Star City. And they're at City Hall. The reporter's there, and then Oliver Queen has started the press conference. I come here before you with a great deal of sorrow, in truth, no remorse. What I've done, I did with the best of intentions. I stand by my mistakes. They walk hand in hand with my successes. I say my successes, but I really don't believe that. I think of them as our successes, yours and mine, and our city. The world turned its back on us, abandoned us, but you believed, you didn't stop. And he's going on to address the citizens. And the Justice League are watching from afar. And what he says, there's going to be no need for a recall election. There's not going to be a need for it, because I am resigning from the office of mayor of Star City, effective immediately. And then all of a sudden, the aide to this Brian Curdo realizes what has happened, and he's starting to tell him, because remember, Brian thinks that he's about to become the mayor. He's evil. He's got these evil intentions. He thinks he's becoming a mayor. He's like, what's the problem? I'm going to step up and take this. He's like, there's no deputy mayor. And they're like, so? And then he says, the office transfers to the next highest ranking city official, which in this case is the head of the city council, who he just made happen, Frederick Tuckman. So he did not betray Oliver. this was a plan that he and Oliver had all along. So he went in and got this guy to appoint him to this position, knowing Oliver was going to do this, so he could get the job and keep going with what they had been doing to help Star City. So they really screwed him over. But Oliver says there's one last act that I'm doing before I end becoming mayor. And there's this wall in our city. It's a division between the citizens, and the wall is going away. We are one city, one together. And I have some help for the walls to come tumbling down. And there's Connor wearing Oliver's costume per Oliver's request. And they start firing the arrows. And we start seeing the walls coming down. He said, Batman whipped up this compound for me. How does it work? He says, I don't know. I don't care. He said that it'll turn every bit of the wall into composition close to water, but it smells like milk. On our next page, Oliver says, and honey. The land of milk and honey, an imaginary place where there is more than enough of everything. And she's like, Ollie, you're a hopeless romantic. And he's like, well, tonight things feel more hopeful. And he pulls out a ring. He says, the band comes from Barry Allen. He was always rooting for us. And the rock is from an arrow. But the question is from me. Dinah Laurel Lance, will you marry me? And that is how the series ended, to be concluded with her answer in the Black Canary miniseries.
Interesting.
So, thoughts, you guys, on this story arc that we read?
I gotta say that when you were describing the ring, Flash did this. Somebody did that. When you said the question, I was like, well, what did he do? What does he got to do with anything? But then, okay, that didn't happen. But it's an interesting storyline. I like it. Very nice.
Yeah. Let us say hello to I Collect a Lot, who joined us during our last story that we were reviewing. And Chicago Schultz has stopped by, too. Oh, I've already watched that, so. Awesome. So, Fu, your thoughts about this storyline that we read, or story arc, or anything about Green Arrow in general?
I thought it was entertaining. I wouldn't say Green Arrow is my favorite character, but no, I thought it was fun. Little twists here and there, and I kind of want to know what happens in the Black Canary miniseries now.
Yeah.
Actually, I really want to know what was going on with the Outsiders, because I noticed Black Lightning was there with the Justice League.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And so was Vixen. Wasn't she part of the Outsiders for a while?
Vixen was as well, yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. So scoring-wise for this 3-issue story arc, I'm going to go about 8.5 out of 10, because I thought it was on the higher side. It was enjoyable. It was something different for us to read that wasn't too heavy, and it had enough to contain itself within the 3 issues.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'd probably give it. I'm going to go a little lower. I'll give it a 7, but I still enjoyed it. Yeah.
All right. And SK?
Yeah, I think we're all kind of singing the same song. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Green Arrow's a character I enjoy. And I think he's at his best when he's interacting with other people. So, yeah, 7.5.
Cool. Well, now we will move on to our book show portion. Who is ready to go with that?
I got to find a book.
Okay, go ahead, Comic Food 2814. Take it away.
All right. So I don't have a ton of Green Arrow, but I was able to scrounge up one that I thought might be worth showing tonight. So, and that is, it's technically a Green Lantern, but yeah, there you go. Finally had a chance to bring this one out, so had to do it. There you go. And that was the start of the Bronze Age, right?
Yeah, it sure was.
And the start of the team up with Green Lantern and Green Arrow, the hard traveling heroes. Yeah.
I would like, and it's just a little too more expensive than I want to pay, I would love to have the Kentucky Fried Chicken variant of that cover.
What if it was signed by Neil Adams?
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's awesome.
Never again. It's
Never
finger licking.
I wonder if silver-haired Bronze Age Babe has one of those, with her being such a Neil Adams fan.
I don't know. There was only trying to see if it says. I think there's only like 500 or so of these, right? There weren't that many. It was a convention exclusive.
Speaking of silver-haired Bronze Age Babe, I have an A-OK unboxing from her on my Comic Book Editions Volume 201 video coming out Tuesday on my channel. I have my back issue of the week YouTube short dropping tomorrow as well. So that's what's on the way on my channel. Already on my channel was Comic Book Editions Volume 200. An A-OK unboxing from my friend Andre in Brazil. He sent me vintage stuff that I never knew existed. There was one item that had DC and Marvel characters combined together inside the same item, which was crazy and cool and awesome. And so that video is already up on my channel if you want to check that out, along with a back issue of the week YouTube short. Our current one right now is a Marvel comic book that was featured. So that's what's on my channel already. And for a book show portion, there's two things I thought I would do tonight. This is the issue where Green Arrow joins the Justice League. Issue number 4.
Very nice.
I got that earlier this year. And to go with it, how about the issue where he quits the Justice League? Issue
Very
181. Cool. Both, I think, are really cool covers. So, a member no more.
Did he really bring that much to the table, though? I mean, the Justice League.
I mean, the Avengers had Hawkeye.
That's true. Yeah.
Uh-oh, Jackson's on the wrong show.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, SK, what you got going on your channel and book show portion?
Oh, man, I'm still trying to figure this algorithm doohickey out. So it is not fighting me. I mean, it is not cooperating at all, and it's just fighting me left and right. But I did some tweaking to an Arnold video, editing-wise, adjusted some stuff and put it out there for the universe to see. Maybe that'll help,
I watched that video. I did not see any twerking.
I said tweak.
You said twerking.
Did I?
Oh. No, you didn't. You didn't. I'm just
teasing. Okay, fair enough. So that's what I did. It was kind of my channel. I had some other stuff coming up too. So we'll see. But for Green Arrow stuff, like Mr. Fu, I was very limited in what I had. But I did have some Green Arrow stuff that had Green Lantern stuff that had Green Arrow in it. So here we have Green Lantern Rebirth number 4, where the Green Arrow puts on Hal Jordan's ring momentarily to help Hal Jordan overcome Parallax and become Hal Jordan once again. So, and this one is signed by Ethan Van Sciver. Gosh, I got this one back in like 2010, 11. I don't remember now. Oh, it says it right there, 2010. Okay. Yeah, I forgot he puts a date underneath his signature. So, yeah, 2010. Yeah, very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
There are links to everyone's channel, including the one guy who hasn't shown up at all this year. You can subscribe to everyone. Subscribe to the folks that have joined us in the chat. If you're watching on the rewind and made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for making it as well. We'd love to see what Green Arrow comic books that you have in your collection. Post those on Instagram using the hashtag Fanboys Live and the Retro Review, so we can make sure to see that. So that would be awesome. Anything else going on before we wrap up another Greatest DC Comics show on YouTube?
No, stay tuned for, I'm sure San Diego Comic-Con is going to have a ton of news. Tons and tons of news. So you can almost probably do, based off past experience, a whole episode just based off the news that comes out of San Diego Comic-Con. So stay tuned for all your DC news.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you in the live chat for joining us. Thank you for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why that was part of the show, but
Oh, you know, you're talking about Tony twerking, and you know, it just so happened I had a video.
Okay.
Why wouldn't it be part of the show?
I'm glad someone has it.
We could make more people have it.
No, we could not. See, I agree with Mr. Kirk. My eyes. Yeah.
You're rewarded for sticking to the end.
That's right. Exactly. That's what
or
you get.
Punished.
Or
Now
punished.
it's
Rewarded.
It depends. It's a punishment, believe me. I gotta live that life every day.
I bet you do. So, Foo, you're picking the retro review next week. You have an idea what it's going to be yet?
I don't. I'll have to put some thought into this one.
Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing what you choose and to visit with you again next week for Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. Until then, take care. Good night.